Hey guys, it's me, Emil, and today we're going to talk about the Book of Bill. Again, you know, I know I've talked about this book before, but I swear this is my last time, okay? Like, this book isn't even that relevant anymore, and they've solved every, like, code in this book possible. But I know that, that's not why I'm making the video today. Today, I'm making this video because I kind of low-key have completion anxiety. Is that what I have? I don't think that's what I have right now. But the point of me uploading this video is in my last Book of Bill video that I made less than a year ago, I missed a few codes. And you guys were gracious enough to tell me about it in the comments. And you guys helped me out a lot. So I decided, how about I go through the Book of Bill once again and go through every single code that I missed in the original Book of Bill video. If you're interested in just having a quick guide to every code in the Book of Bill, go check out that video and then come back to this video. The two videos will link to each other, so it'll be an endless loop of Book of Bill videos that you can just infinitely watch, and you can get all the information that you need to know. In that video, I went over a bunch of different code types that are used in the original Book of Bill, and before I went over each of these ciphers, I had a few unfindable mentions. And good news for you guys, I found them in this video. The first unfindable mention was what I believe to be a color cipher on the Alex Hirsch book sleeve, where he gives you a little message from the author. I've come to the conclusion that this means nothing, and I might be schizophrenic. I'll start looking into that. But yeah, from what I've seen on like Reddit and stuff like that, this one means nothing. So we figured that one out. Let's go to the next one. Next up was on page 48. This is where Bill shows us the parts of the human body and says that our rib cage is actually a free xylophone that you can play whenever you want. He gives a little tune that someone can play, and no one figured this out. I had people in the comment section saying they were gonna go talk to their music teacher the next day in school, and I think they might have died because they said that and then they never responded anything after that. So rest in peace to you guys. But I did some Googling myself, and I found out that this is quite literally just music, and it sounds like this. And I was a percussionist in high school, so I do know how to read music as far as like rhythms go. And that, it looks like the rhythm that's on the free xylophone page, so good job, whoever did this. Who did this? The next unfindable mention was on page 80. And this one was a little jar on the side of the page that had a little sticky note on it. In the original video, I said I had no clue what this one meant, but this guy in my comment section said that he just checked his book and he thinks it says P-R-S-A-R-S-A-P. I ran this through the only logical one, the only one that used the English alphabet, which was the Caesar cipher, and it did nothing. And if you shift these numbers like any direction, it is absolute gibberish. So then I went to Google, as you do, and I found out this is actually nothing again. This picture of this jar was ripped out of a stock image that you can just use, and Alex Hirsch just did that. So that's what that one is. That one means nothing. It's quite literally just a little jar with a sticky note on it with gibberish on it. It's exactly what I thought it was. Page 78 through 79 was next on my list of unfindable mentions. This was the codes page, and on this page, Bill says that there is no codes in this book. And my little detective self decided that each number on this page probably means something. However, I don't think that's true. I don't think that's true at all. I think these numbers are just kind of everywhere. However, there is something important on this page. This page isn't just like a waste of page. You see that little circle down there? That's gonna help us solve the next big unfindable mention. And the unfindable mention in question is the coffee stains throughout the entirety of the Book of Bill. Now, I have seen no comprehensive guide about how to do this on the internet. I've seen people do it on TikTok, but it really didn't make sense at all. And maybe that's just me being like an idiot or something, but I think I'll make a little more sense in this video. What you gotta do to this little wheel right here, you have to put a translucent piece of paper on top of it, and then write on it in marker the exact alphabet that you see right there. You gotta do a little tracing here, okay? Next thing's next, you gotta go to every single coffee stain in this book in chronological order. So you start all the way at the beginning of the book, and that one should be on page 3. Then you overlay the translucent traced drawing thing over the coffee stain, I assume on the rim trim outside the coffee stain. And then you write down the order of the letters that line up with the little gaps in the coffee stain, and the order that you put these in correspond to the number of dots that are in between the gaps. For example, this coffee stain right here, the gap with 1 dot lines up with the H. The gap with 2 dots lines up with the I. The gap with 3 dots lines up with the S, and the gap with 4 dots lines up with the D. So you write these down, go coffee stain by coffee stain throughout the entirety of the book, and you have to find somewhere on the internet the original photo that was on thisisnotawebsite.com. And if you write down every single letter in chronological order of how you see the coffee stains in the book, and you follow the number of stains inside each gap, you will get the phrase, "His dimension, now deceased, Scalene and Euclid, rest in peace." And Scalene and Euclid are Bill's parents, because as we discovered in the last video, Bill killed his entire homeworld. That's a thing that Bill Cipher did. So after all that work, it's not too impressive. I guess you find out what his parents are named. I guess that's where all that lore came from. But if you're wondering how to do it, that's what you get if you follow every single step on it. But apparently, the unfindable mentions weren't the only thing I missed in the original video. A few people in the comments said that I missed some things in the Book of Bill. So we're gonna go through those right now. This first guy really wants me to go to the website, even though I didn't talk that much about the website in the original video. This guy says that Ford's favorite color is Ford Tramarine, which is a code for the website. So we're gonna put that in now, and this is what you get. You get this little file thing about Ford Tramine. If I don't think I'm saying that right, there's no shot I'm saying that word right. The next comment correcting me was a little polite. This is by a demonic fella who says, "Look, dude, I'm sorry, but there were 2 codes you missed. Once again, flashlight may be needed, but there is a code that reads Justice for Scrambles, the elf that was brutally crushed, on the inside of the back cover next to the photo credits. There is another code in the Norse code that reads Remember Grembley. Don't know what that means yet, though. Grammar, Stanley." Okay, so what this guy is referring to, I did miss these because I think by the time I got to the back of the book, I just didn't care and I didn't shine my flashlight on every single page. Sue me. But this is true. This isn't a misprint or anything like that. I've got that code on my back cover, and it is not Justice for Scrambles. That is an autocorrect. It says Justice for Scrimbles, and that was the elf that we did kill whenever you flip the page. And then on the very side of the thing, in the lightest font I've ever seen in my life, it does say Remember Grembley written on the wall. In the skin section of the book, Grembley speaks up. Actually, he's referred to as Grebley in here. There's no M in his name. Under Learning is Fun, it says, "Help, this is not Bill Cipher. My name is Grebley Humberdreck of Zimtrex 5. I'm one of thousands of beings Bill has devoured over trillions of years, whose souls are now trapped inside him. You have to free me. It's horrible in here. He just keeps playing the song Good Vibrations by Marky Mark on an endless loop. Please, please, this is not a joke." And then it cuts off. Another commenter said, "What about the or in red on the number-eating monster's picture on the test page, and the out-of-place letters in the decoded ciphers? Are we supposed to write these down and make a word out of them? If so, I've got torn." What this person means, by the way, is there were 2 ciphers that had kind of typos in them, and if you put that together with the or that's randomly on the number-eating monster, you get torn. I guess you could also possibly get Nort. I don't know. Let's try both of those on thisisnotawebsite.com. So yeah, I mean, I guess technically you can spell torn or Nort, and one of those means something, but I don't think they're actually relevant to solving the lore of Gravity Falls. But there's a little interesting factoid right there. With the 2 typos and that random little or, you can spell torn or Nort. The next commenter, they pointed out something that I did know, but I didn't put it in the video because I didn't think it was relevant anymore, because this ended up being the password for thisisnotawebsite.com in order to get into it. And the intelligence test. Look at it at a angle. It will show need a password, fine, I'll talk. Then look at it a different side to show it's the name of the eyeball doc. What this person means by this comment is that in the intelligence section of the book, the same place the number-eating monster is, there's a little "what is this thing" in the corner, and it's one of those things where if you look at it like this, like if you look at it kind of like that, like if there's a picture of my phone and I look at it like this, you can actually see like what it says because it's just skewed a certain way. If you look at it one way, it says need a password, fine, I'll talk. And if you look at it the other way, it says it's the eyeball doc. He's talking about the small segment of summer reading he gave you in this little Great Gatsby section. If you actually read this excerpt from the Great Gatsby, you can find this sentence. We're reading the Great Gatsby now. But above the gray land and the spasms of bleak dust which drift endlessly over it, you perceive after a moment the eyes of Dr. T.J. Eckelberg. And the password in question is T.J. Eckelberg. So that's what that is if you're still in summer of 2024. The next comment is referring to something I deciphered actually in the last video. On a popsicle stick, it reads Booberry. And I went on and on about how I love the monster cereals and I love Booberry cereal, but that's apparently not what it was referring to. This commenter informed me that I think Booberry is a reference to the Gravity Falls pilot, and that sure is the name of the Gravity Falls pilot. It's a dual-bladed reference, hopefully, because I want it to be about the monster cereal, and I also want it to be about the Gravity Falls pilot. We can both be right in this situation. And then the last two interesting comments I found in regard to a few possible misprints in the book. I think I have a misprint in this case because this person says, my book says countries aren't real for some reason. The one you saw is missing the bottom part. I think my book might just be printed a little weird because it does not have any room to say real on my little phrase where it says countries aren't real. So we'll try that on thisisnotawebsite.com to see if this has any significance to anything. No, that one doesn't mean anything. I didn't think any of these were gonna mean anything. This guy says, I don't know why, but my book repeats just fit in over and over instead of axolotl. And my book says axolotl. If yours says just fit in, that's interesting. Could be significant to thisisnotawebsite.com. Let's see. There was another color cipher! Do the Reddit people know about this one? I just found something. I just discovered something right here, and this video wasn't pointless. I found something. It says just fit in. If you type that in according to this commenter right here, if you put that into thisisnotawebsite.com, you get this, and it has a little color cipher. I don't know what the color cipher means, but I hope that it says that like McGucket is actually the author of the journals, and I have cracked all of Gravity Falls just now. But that is all the information I've found about the Book of Bill, and if you're interested in all the codes in Book of Bill, go to the video somewhere on screen right now, and you can look at every single one that I have deciphered. But thanks to everyone who commented, and thank you guys for watching this pretty short follow-up video. I'm glad we actually found something. This wasn't a pointless video. I'll see you guys next week.